Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Today we're looking at the converse of Pythagoras Theorem. So just to recap, remember if we have a right-angled triangle and we call the shorter sides A and B and the longer side the hypotenuse C, Pythagoras Theorem is that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now, of course, that only works if it's a right-angled triangle. So if the triangle is right-angled, then Pythagoras theorem holds. Then A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So the converse is just the other way. So what it says, the converse of Pythagoras theorem, is if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, so C is again the longer side, A and B the shorter side. So if that's true, then the triangle is a right-angled triangle. So we can tell just by looking at the lengths of sides of a triangle whether or not the triangle is right-angled. So let's go through some examples. Pause and copy down if you need this. So the kinds of question we need to be able to do, we need to be able to look at triangles and decide whether or not they're right-angled. So we're going to do that by looking at the lengths of the sides. So let's look at the blue one first. So is it right-angled? Well, all we're going to do is see if Pythagoras theorem holds in this. So we have, of course, the two shorter sides. So if I take 6 squared and add 8 squared, I get 100. You can just put that on your calculator. But if I square this one, I also get 100. So what you can see is that the sum of the squares of the shorter sides does equal the square of the longer side. 6 squared plus 8 squared does equal 10 squared. Therefore, Pythagoras theorem holds. So we say, is the blue one right-angled? Yes. And the reason is because A squared plus B squared equals C squared, or you can write 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared, okay? Now, for the next one in black, you might think, oh, 10, 15, 20, because they're going up by 5, because there's a pattern, it must be right-angled. But that's not how we do it. We do it, again, by checking whether Pythagoras theorem holds. So 10 squared plus 15 squared, if you put that on your calculator, that just equals 325. But 20 squared equals 400. So is the black triangle right-angled? The answer is no, because in this triangle, A squared plus B squared doesn't equal C squared. But Pythagoras told us that if it's right-angled, that this would happen. A squared plus B squared would equal C squared. But because that didn't happen, it's not right-angled triangle, or in other words, because 10 squared plus 15 squared does not equal 20 squared. So I know that the black triangle is definitely not right-angled and the blue one is. Hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.